What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you an expanded deck centered around the combination of Giratina-EX and Malamar. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. And also, if you are new to the channel, here at TTM, we are a collaborative channel, so there is not just myself and the TCG content that you see before you. There is also draft format content from myself, Jolt, and Crobat for the win. So if any of that interests you, please feel free to click that subscribe button. And also, we have a TTM Discord that will be linked in the description. It has channels for not only draft format, but also Smogon and TCG, so all facets of Pokemon. If that interests you, please feel free to check that out below. But anyway, on to the deck. Actually, before I get into the deck, the question of the day. So I will do a quick disclaimer. I am redoing the deck list, like post narration of the games, just because I encountered an interesting situation that I decided that I really wanted your guys' thoughts on. So originally this video was uploaded, it was good to go, like I was ready to have it posted, and this was pre-Wobbuffet glitch, so you'll see that in the game. I'm getting a little bit of spoilers just because I want this to be like a sort of conversation type of thing. So this deck was narrated before the Wobbuffet glitch was patched, where Malamar's Psychic Recharge would not work if Wobbuffet was in the active spot. That was kind of a devastating thing to find out on my day one upload, just because my deck was centered around using Wobbuffet and Malamar in combination with each other. So, like I said, this was before the Wobbuffet patch, and so in the last game you'll see that I run up against a Wobbuffet where my opponent is able to prevent a win. I'm not saying whether I won or lost, because you'll still have to check that out. But my opponent was able to delay an inevitable win on my part by exploiting the Wobbuffet glitch. And so my question to you guys is, what are your thoughts on glitches as they pertain to the Pokemon TCG? So really, when it comes to glitches, I think that a lot of times they are part of the game. Because, I mean, I'm just going to take Super Smash Bros. Melee, for instance. I will admit, I'm not a connoisseur. I don't know all that much, but I do know things like wave dashing were not intended to be in the game. Like, they are not a quote-unquote glitch per se, but they are exploiting mechanics to do movements that were not necessarily intended to be able to be done in the game. So when it comes to stuff like that, where everybody has equal access to them, and that's part of the meta, I think that glitches like that are relatively okay to be used. However, when it comes to something like the Wobbuffet glitch, where a specific card is not working the way it's supposed to be, it is broken in terms of it has a specific writing to where it says all Pokemon except Psychic Pokemon don't have abilities. So it has that specific writing, and then if it is preventing a Psychic Pokemon from using its abilities, I consider that a glitch that should not be exploited. So what do you guys think? Do you think that things like the Wobbuffet glitch, it's okay to exploit in order to be able to win? Or do you think that that's, or like, as in, I'm not trying to put it in a bad light. I'm just saying that, do you think that it's one of those things that we need to be like, okay, that is part of the game. That's how the game works right now. Until it is patched, we have to deal with it. And that it's a completely viable way of winning a game? Or do you think it's one of those things that it's kind of like a Bush League type of thing to where, I mean, yeah, you can do it, but it's not something that you should do. It's kind of a BS way to try to win a game. So, I mean, I'm wondering what your guys' thoughts are on that, just because, I mean, I have my opinion. My opinion will become very, very, very clear at the end of this video. Just a warning, a quick disclaimer. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I'm genuinely curious to see or to hear what you guys think about that particular topic. Now, I'm sorry, I know I talked a lot more than usual, and that's saying something for a question of the day, but this is an aspect of the game that I legitimately feel strongly about, and I want more than just my opinion on it. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of glitches or things that weren't necessarily intended for the game, and in what cases it's okay to use them. But anyway, onto the deck. Like I said, this is centered around the combination of Giratina and Malamar. Got this from Rare Candy, so big shout-outs to them for the deck idea. And really, I mean, you guys know what Malamar does by now. Psychic Recharge. Once during your turn, you attach a Psychic Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. Giratina, attach Double Dragon and use Chaos Wheel. Shuts out Special Energy, Tools, and Special Energy, and Stadium. Sorry, I can't read right now. And also has the ability to not get hit by Mega Pokemon. So considering a lot of the expanded metagame right now is centered around being able to use Special Energy. In fact, a lot of expanded decks run simply just 4 DCE and then maybe 2 basic energy, but those DCE are what they run in their deck. Like, that's their ability to be able to attack, is with DCE. Giratina, if it can just continually stream attacks, shuts that down hard to where some decks can't even play, because they run absolutely no way of getting out of that. Their only way is to, like, try to Guzma their way out of it, but in that case, like, you'll still have the Dawn Wings with Float Stone to be able to get out of any situation that your opponent tries to strand you in. You have Guzma of your own to switch back in. So Giratina is a really, really interesting metagame call, as it legitimately has the ability to just win and end games on its own, to where, I mean, your opponent just can't attack if it's the right type of deck. So I think this is a very cool idea, and I wanted to explore it, but also there are combinations of Necrozma and Ultra Necrozma, just because, I mean, those things take big prizes, and Necrozma Malamar has already proven how good it is. So, I mean, it's just kind of one of those, well, let's just tech in a couple more let's just tech in a couple Giratina to a Necrozma Malamar deck and see how it does. And quite frankly, this deck is awesome. So again, big shout outs to Rare Candy. They're the ones that I got this list from. Now, we'll just go through the mons and what they do and just talk through all the items just straight through. One Shaymin, because setup, just be able to play it down onto your bench and draw 6 cards is absolutely, or draw until you have 6 cards in your hand, is absolutely phenomenal. Just be able to, like, late game, get non-support draw. Particularly late game, Shaymin is very handy just to be able to fish out that last Guzma or that last energy or something like that. Just being able to fish a little bit more with Shaymin is very, very nice. Definitely a late game card in this deck. 2, Giratina, as while it's the main attacker, in some matchups it really doesn't do a whole lot. So while we have 2 to where we can reliably get 1, we don't want to I guess, overfill our deck with Giratina where it's not necessarily always that useful. 1-2 of Ultra Necrozma and regular Necrozma. Ultra Necrozma is nice because it can function off the double dragon energies, which Giratina uses as well, and hit a little bit harder. But then also we have the regular Necrozma just to be able to reliably use our Psychic Energy to Prismatic Burst. And also if our opponent is running Giratina of their own, then we can't use our Double Dragons, obviously, or if they have a ton of Special Energy hate, then we can just rely on regular Necrozma to be able to attack. 2 Dawn Wings for the Invade and Retreat, but also the Dark Flash if we run up against a Psychic Weak GX deck, which is very nice to deal with. And then 4-3 of Inkay and Malamar, just to be able to get multiple Inkay out there and get a Malamar when we need it. And then, of course, 1 Lele, because Lele into Brigette is the strongest start this deck can hope for. However, this deck has enough Pokemon Search that it doesn't always need it. That's why you only see 1 Lele and 1 Brigette. 2, Battle Compressor. We're not running a large number just because, as you can see, we're not running any VS Seekers. We're going more for Pokemon Search than supporter reuse. So we're not necessarily throwing supporters in the discard pile all that much. However, we do want Battle Compressor to be able to reliably throw Psychic Energy into the discard pile without having to draw it. 1 Computer Search as the A-Spec of choice in this deck, just because it's the best A-Spec in the game. 2 Enhanced Hammer for a little bit extra Special Energy hate. That way we're able to knock a Special Energy off of something and then completely lock our opponent down with the Giratina. 2 Field Blower, because Choice Bands and Garbodor are incredibly annoying for this deck. 4-4 of Mysterious Treasure and Ultra Ball, just so we have the max search that we need for this deck. 1 Rescue Stretcher for Recursion, as we like having regular energy in the discard pile for Malamar. 2 Parallel Cities, just to be able to disrupt our opponent, put them down to 3 bench spots. And then with Giratina, the only way they can get rid of a Parallel City is with a Field Blower, so they can't even counter our own Parallel City. So that has the potential to just lock our opponent out and force a Field Blower when they would rather just play their own Stadium. And then as for these supporters, 1 Brigette because Lele-landed Brigette is insanely strong, but like I said, don't need it because of all of the search that we have. 3-2-3 of Cynthia, N, and Sycamore just for draw support. I mean, this is the line they went with, and I tried it out, and it works for me. So yeah, I mean, I just went with it. Then 3 Guzma because Guzma is amazing. 3 Float Stones. As you can see, we're running Parallel City, not Altar of the Moon like I ran in a previous Malamar deck. But Float Stone and Parallel City are definitely better meta calls, just to be able to have that Float Stone, not have to attach energy, just be able to get that free retreat, just be able to attach a tool and then have the free retreat and then save the energy for your attackers. And then 4-7 of Double Dragon and Psychic. So yeah, that's the deck, and I know that I'm post-narrating this deck list, so I apologize for that. Let's just go ahead and see this deck in action, and once again, disclaimer, I get salty at the end of the second game. Alrighty, we have found one against Surgeonite, or Sergio Knight, there we go. Sergio Knight, even though it's probably Surgeonite. I prefer Sergio Knight because it sounds cooler, I don't know. With a water and fire deck, so I'm assuming this is some kind of Volcanion deck. And I start off with a Giratina, and honestly, this isn't bad if I could somehow get a couple Malamar in play. We do see Salazzle, we see Wishful Baton. How many mulligan cards am I going to get? Ooh, I'm okay with this. So yeah, we will get a couple more mulligan cards. Let's see if there's a... Well, there's no Inkay, so we just have to hope that our opponent doesn't N us, or if he does N us, puts us into a couple Inkay to get things going. It does just play an energy and a Wishful Baton onto the Turtonator. It's fine with me, and I just kind of want to see what they want to do. They do Steven, so that's interesting. Clearly... Or I'm not thinking we're up against the most competitive deck, as he does just Steven for an energy and a Pokemon fan club. So yeah, I get a third Sycamore. So what I'm going to do is get rid of a Sycamore and an N to grab... Let's grab a Lele, make sure the Brigette's there. Yes, it is, so that's good for me. Let's see what else there is. There's 3 Inkay, 2 Malamar. I have 1 in my hand and a Necrozma. So that should get me all that I really... That should give me all that I need for this game. Let's go ahead and grab, or to begin with anyway, let's go ahead and grab the Brigette, play that down, grab 2 Inkay and let's grab a Dawn Wings, because I have the Float Stone that I can go ahead and play on that. And then let's just energy up the Giratina, Float Stone up the Dawn Wings, and then, yeah, let's invade. That way I do have I can just power up Giratina for next turn. Let's go ahead and put up the Lele so that it can take the hit and I don't have to have Dawn Wings or my Giratina take a hit, and then I can still power up stuff in the background. My opponent plays down an Entei. Okay, that is just an alternate artwork of the Entei GX. I wanted to make sure that I didn't just miss something completely, because let's be real, that's something that is very reasonable to happen. And I didn't just miss a new Entei coming out. They are going to grab a Ho-Oh and a Volcanion. That is fine. Ho-Oh is going to be a little bit annoying, actually pretty annoying, if I'm not able to just knock that thing out in one hit. But regardless, he is going to be able to Shell Trap, hit me for some good damage, and then prevent damage for next turn. So let's go ahead and evolve an Inkay into a Malamar. Field Blower, get rid of the Wishful Baton. I'm hunting Wabbits. Get rid of the Wishful Baton off the Turtonator. And, ooh, this works. So, actually, I don't think I quite have enough energy for it. So, yeah, there's only 1 energy. So what I wanted to do, if I had another energy in the discard pile, was Mysterious Treasure for a Necrozma, and then just start powering that up. So let's go ahead and grab the... Necrozma. Play that down, put the energy onto that, and then let's just Psychic Recharge onto the Necrozma, and then hope that I'm able to get energy somehow next turn. Yeah, my opponent might be able to, and actually will probably be able to knock out my Lele, but I'm actually okay with that, because the second he knocks out the Lele, that's just a freed up bench spot for me that I don't have to worry about trying to work around. It's just a way that I can get an Ultra Necrozma or another Inkay Malamar. So he does just knock out my Lele. He is going to go up 2 prizes. But what this does allow me to do, let's just go ahead and promote the Dawn Wings, as it does have the Float Stone. I get another Dawn Wings. Really don't think I need it. And then let's just end, put my opponent down to 4. Hopefully draw into an energy, which I do. And this is actually really good for me. So what I can do is Mysterious Treasure, get rid of the Necrozma, because my opponent is not anywhere near being able to knock me out in 1 hit this coming turn. There are 2 energy in the discard pile. So like I said, my opponent's not going to be anywhere near being able to knock me out in 1 hit this coming turn. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and promote my Necrozma. I don't really want to get rid of any more psychic energy because I have... Yeah, I don't want to get rid of any more because with my Necrozma's attack this turn, I will already be getting rid of it. So let's just go ahead and retreat into my Necrozma. I could Black Ray. I really could, but I want to just get rid of this Turtonator. I want to get that thing out of my sight, just take the knockout as it comes, and then go from there, because I can always just Black Ray next turn if I feel like that will be the most beneficial for me. I get a Double Dragon, which I can use for Giratina to finish off some KOs later. But like I said, I can just Black Ray, I can set everything up to get knocked out, and that's also why well, I mean, I'm glad I have a Float Stone in my hand, because his Field Blower will get rid of both of mine. I do have a 3rd one, which will allow me to get that free retreat onto my Dawn Wings, which is ultimately what I really want and what I want to go for. My opponent is just going to Nest Ball for a Salazzle, or for a Salandit, sorry. And then Max Elixir, he's going to Max Elixir onto it. No, going to Max Elixir onto the Ho-Oh. So, and then end me. Ooh, that's not good. I really, really liked my hand. Like, my hand was pretty phenomenal for what I wanted. I do get the Guzma that I can work with. But it's a matter of... It's another Nest Ball. That's fine with me. How do I want to play this? So I have the Parallel City. I have the Cynthia. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's actually... Yeah, let's Parallel City. Put my opponent down to 3 bench spots. See what it gets rid of. Gets rid of the Salandit. Then I'm going to Cynthia, see if I can draw into a Float Stone. I don't. What I could have done is gotten the Guzma, but what I can do now is I will be able to get another Malamar. So the way I want to play this is let's get rid of... it's Mysterious Treasure, get rid of the Ultra Ball for the Dawn Wings. Yeah, I shouldn't have gotten greedy that turn. That was... bad play on my part. Yeah, I should have just Guzma. Dang it. Yeah, I really should have just invaded, attached the energy to Necrozma, and then Guzma'd up the Ho-Oh and knocked that thing out. But I don't know. I was confident that I could draw into it. So what I'm going to do is just attach to the Giratina. And I can actually get a hit off with Giratina this turn if I want. So let's go ahead and Psychic Recharge onto... Let's just Psychic Recharge onto my Dawn Wings. So, because of my greediness, I'm not able to get a knockout this turn, but what I can still do is attack the Entei for 100 damage, put it in range of getting knocked out by a Black Ray later. Just kind of set things up for the end game, and then Chaos Wheel will prevent him from Stadium Special Energy, even though we don't really see the Special Energy, because, I mean, I've gotten rid of all of my Enhanced Hammers, as this is a fire deck. He is just going to Combustion for 50. Fine with me. Let's see if I can get... Okay, so I get a Battle Compressor. 2 Psychic in the discard pile. Let's go ahead and put a 3rd one in there, I believe. Let's go ahead and put a 3rd. Let's put a... There are no Pokemon anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of an Ultra Ball and... Let's just go ahead and actually get rid of both the Ultra Balls, because I really don't need them for anything. And now what I can do is just go ahead and fill up my fill up my Necrozma. And the question is, do I want to retreat my Giratina and Black Ray, or do I just want, or Black Ray GX, or do I just want to Chaos Wheel and knock out the Entei and prevent any stadiums from going down into play for my opponent? So I could retreat, get rid of the Double Dragon, and then Black Ray. Or I could just stay in and quote-unquote lock my opponent. I think... because then I'm setting... but if I'm going to Black Ray, then I'm just setting up for Giratina to be able to finish up a knockout. So what I think I'm going to do, because like I said, I was... if I had Black Rayed, all I would have been doing was setting Giratina up to finish up the game with knockouts. Also, I kind of want to wait on the Salandit to come in, or the Salazzle to come into play. And it does, but it's not the... It's not the one that I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be the GX. But my opponent is going to play down an Entei. Going to be a little bit annoying. But on the bright side, can attach any tools or go for a stadium. Yes, I know what burning and confusing does. Stop it. Yeah, so I had trouble with TCGO recently to where I had to reinstall, or uninstall and reinstall, and as such I'm getting all these prompts. And I do top deck into the Guzma. That will win me the game, as all I need to do is just attach the energy to my Necrozma, Guzma up the Ho-Oh, and then we will be able to knock it out with a Prismatic Burst. And yeah, the Ho-Oh will go down, and we are able to take the first game with Malamar Giratina. Giratina was actually able to put in a little bit of work. Wasn't able to put in that much work considering our opponent wasn't that heavily reliant on special energy or tools or anything like that. But nonetheless, still did a pretty good job and still put in the work. So very satisfied with how that went. Able to get 3 Malamars up, and then of course Necrozma able to come through in the end and clean up the game. So yeah, that was a very solid first one. Let's go ahead and try to find another one. Alrighty, we have found another one against a Panda Yi with an Electric, Psychic, Dark, and Fire deck. Wow, I have no idea. I couldn't even remotely begin to guess what my opponent is running. We do lose the coin flip, so we will go second, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Although I really would like to have a Pokemon to start off with. I mean, I feel like that'd be nice, you know, just have a Pokemon, be able to start off the game, be able to play the game. But I mean, hey, if that's how it rolls, then sometimes it just does not happen. So we are going to mulligan. Hopefully I just don't mulligan too much. And I start off with a Necrozma and actually a pretty solid hand. Yeah, this hand's actually really nice for the coming turn, as I do have a... what? My opponent drew past. And that wasn't a draw think pass. That was a draw immediately pass. So, yeah, I have no idea, but we do see the Hoopa, which is going to be a gigantic problem, as the only thing I have to take on Hoopa is my Malamars. So that being said, I'm going to need a bunch of Malamars. Unfortunately, 2 are prized this game, so that's going to make it even more difficult. So this is going to be a tricky game, to say the least. So let's go ahead and Lele for a Brigette so that I can at least get those guys in play to start powering stuff up. Let's just go ahead and grab 3 Inkay, I think. Actually, no. Let's grab a Dawn Wings instead. Because, I mean, if I had 3 Malamar, I would grab 3 Inkay, but 2 are prized, like I said, so I am just going to grab 2. And on the bright side, I do have the ability to start looking for prizes, start searching my prizes for that other Malamar, as my opponent's Reshiram does not have the Safeguard ability, so that's ultimately what I'm going to try to go for. Computer Search, unfortunately, will just be turned into... will just essentially amount to an Ultra Ball this turn, or this coming turn, if I don't get anything that I particularly like. Actually, if I even get it off the top deck, then Computer Search is actually just going to be discarded, and oh, thank you. That would have been an interesting hand to try to deal with. I mean, I would have been able to deal with it. I would have been able to Computer Search for a Malamar and go from there. Seriously? Seriously? This is the hand that you give me? Oh my gosh, I hate this game. I mean, I go from a 3-card hand of stuff that I could really work with to a 4-card hand of, honestly, just a bunch of discard fodder that I really don't want to get rid of this early. So actually a little bit peeved by what the game decided to give me right there. I'm going to get rid of a double dragon as Giratina. Giratina, I love you, but you're not going to be doing much for me this game at all. Let's just go ahead and grab a Cynthia. I want to hold on to the Enhanced Hammer, as that's going to be able to get rid of the DCE on the Hoopa to potentially delay it knocking out a Malamar, and no Malamars. So yeah, I'm just going to end the turn right there. I mean, I got an energy attachment, so I'm not like, not overly worried, but it's still just kind of like a sigh. All right, fine, I'll just deal with what's given to me. Gets a Float Stone onto Hoopa and a Verbank. That's going to be annoying. Is he going to end? If he ends me, I will actually really like that. Okay, yes, please get me into ways to discard Psychic Energy and get me some Malamars. Like, that's what I need to get cooking. I need to start damaging this Hoopa as quickly as possible. That's okay. I'm good with this. I am actually really good with this, because this will turn into Malamar and energy, or 2 Malamars and energy in the discard pile, and actually it's just going to attach the energy straight onto the Reshiram. That's interesting. I guess just wanting to get damage, but I mean, either way, like this works out for me, because I will be able to get 2 Malamars and I'll be able to start searching through my prizes. So realistically, I mean, again, I still have no idea what my opponent's running. We see Hoopa, we see Reshiram, we see Robo Substitute, we see a Verbank. So I still have, I have no clue. I really don't have any clue. Let's just go ahead and play down a couple Malamar, play down the Cynthia to go ahead and get us a fresh hand of 6 cards, and still no Float Stone. Unfortunate. How do I want to do this? So not going to be able to get a knockout this turn. Do I want to... Let's play the Enhanced Hammer. Just make him... Because I'm not going to be able to get a knockout this turn, so I want to force him to waste his double colorless on Reshiram as opposed to Hoopa. Because the more I can waste on the Reshiram, the better off I'll be. Let's go ahead and Battle Compressor, get rid of Giratina, a Sycamore, and a Psychic. There's 2 in the discard pile. Yeah, let's get rid of a Giratina, a Sycamore, and a... don't want to do that. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I do want to throw that Psychic Energy in there, so that Psychic Recharge, even after I invade, will be able to get me more energy. So let's just go ahead, energy up the Dawn Wings, and... Man, this is tricky. How am I going to be able to pull this off? So I think I'll just end the turn right there. Man, that one energy that I played onto Malamar because I wanted to be able to hit the Hoopa is actually coming. It's actually starting to get pretty annoying. He's going to VS Seeker for an N, which, I mean, again, I love that he's playing N. Gets rid of my Parallel City. That's fine. Really wasn't too overly worried about that. And now I'm just hoping that he plays another DCE onto Reshiram for another 20 damage, because if you could tell me that I could get rid of all my opponent's DCEs in exchange for 20 damage, I would take that in a heartbeat. And we see the Gengar come down. Okay, so I'm starting to see what this deck is. This is a Dark Corridor Gengar deck. Crap. So I have the Float Stone for the Dawn Wings, but I want to have to manually discard to retreat. Yeah, this is interesting. If I had a Psychic Energy, I'd be able to work with it. Crap. Right now, I'm just in a weird spot. I'm in a weird spot because if I play the Float Stone, then I lose out on the manual discard. So what I think I'm just going to do is... Let's grab the Ultra Necrozma. Yeah, let's grab the Ultra Necrozma. Sorry if I'm like rambling off. Like, this is such a tricky situation. I'm trying to figure out what works best. Let's go ahead and shuffle back in the Giratina and the Inkay. Then I think just Sycamore. Gets rid of my Enhanced Hammer, that's fine, but... Okay. How can I do this? Let's invade. was really hoping to draw into another Psychic Energy. But considering I only have one, let's play this onto the onto the regular Necrozma, and I need another Psychic. That's the problem. So let's just attach the double dragon. Yeah, that's this is rough. How do I want to do this? So you know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave my Dawn Wings up. Hope that so he escape ropes. That's okay with me. I'll just throw up the Lele, because it really doesn't make that big of a difference. As he puts up the Robo Sub, and he's gonna. Okay, that makes 0 sense to me. Why didn't you just? Oh, okay, I guess he wanted to play down. Never mind, that makes sense to me now. And then he is just gonna Juniper. So, okay, this is great for me because now I actually have 6 prizes on board for my opponent. My opponent has 3 Gengar EXs down. So I'm going to target the crap out of those things. Like yeah, that is going to be okay. Crushing Hammer. Of course there's a frickin' Crushing Hammer in that deck. And of course he gets heads, discards my Double Dragon, not the end of the world. But, okay, please Psychic Energy. Get a Guzma. Can I make that work at all? I don't think so. So what I might have to do is actually Field Blower away my own Float Stone, even though that's the last thing I want to do. Really, really don't want to Field Blower away my own Float Stone, as that's such a valuable resource. But this Hoopa is a problem, and I also have to play my Guzmas extremely carefully. I cannot afford to discard a single one. Let's just grab an Inkay, thin out my deck a little bit. Invade. Is this what I want to do? Retreat into the Necrozma. Then do I want to play the Double Dragon down? Because he already showed that he has Crushing Hammer. If he has Crushing Hammer, he might have Enhanced Hammer. In fact, it's much more likely that he has Enhanced Hammer if he's running Crushing Hammer as well. So I'm going to hold off on that. Just kind of bait him into trying to... Okay, he's going to go into his Gengar. Dark Corridor actually will be able to knock me out due to weakness. And yeah, I knew that regular Necrozma would not be my way of winning this game. I actually think that that might be... Yeah, that turn might be what I need to pull off a win. Because getting 2 energy in the discard pile, keeping my Guzmas. 100% keeping my Guzmas. Let's get rid of the... Let's get rid of the muscle bands, as those are really what's going to rack up the damage. And then let's Psychic Recharge onto my Ultra Necrozma. And let's double Psychic Recharge. Okay, no, didn't mean to click off. And then onto the Ultra Necrozma, like I said. Do I want to play down the other Inkay? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm purposely not playing the Parallel City because I need to keep all 3 of his Gengars on board. If I'm going to win this game, I need to prevent my opponent from just trying to solo me with Hoopa. I need to get rid of all 3 Gengars. And I get another Malamar, which is perfect, and my other Guzma. So I have a great chance to win at this point. Like, with my opponent's Hoopa not being powered up, with his 2 Gengars not even having energy on them yet, I can just target them over and over with Guzmas for knockouts. My opponent plays down Wobbuffet. Should not be a big deal. In fact, it really should not be a big deal at all, as Wobbuffet is something that... Or Wobbuffet should not stop my Malamars, but I mean, we all know the glitch with TCGO, as that's probably going to be... I don't know. If they haven't fixed it yet, then that's going to be an issue. But Wobbuffet is not going to be... Wobbuffet, to a player who knows what they're doing, is not a stop to this deck at all. So I'm just going to attach the Double Dragon just to make him get rid of multiple Double Dragons in order to get this thing out of there. Bring up the Gengar that got the energy on it, and then let's just Photon Geyser, knock that thing out, and take 2 more prizes. And with the Guzma in hand, unless he ends me, I do win the game. So we're in a phenomenal spot right here. Like, I don't think there's much my opponent can do. He does promote the Wobbuffet. And okay, so I should have the game in hand, like, no question about it. The game should be over. as I will be able to just invade and then Psychic Recharge. So let's go ahead and... Gengar has 1 energy on it. Yeah, I should be able to win. So let's just go ahead and invade and retreat like we should be able to do in order to just pretty easily win the game at this point. Let's Psychic Recharge once onto my Necrozma, see if it's fixed. And it's not fixed. Are you serious? Okay, my opponent is pulling some Bush League BS right now. Like, if they are purposely exploiting the fact that Wobbuffet is, or that Wobbuffet is glitched to where Psychic Recharge isn't working properly, then I'm sorry. That's some Bush League BS right there. So I'm not able to win the game this turn like I should be able to. I mean, like, you guys see it. I have the Guzma in my hand. I have the win. But because my opponent is exploiting a glitch, then I'm not able to do that. So I just have to try to draw into my final Psychic Energy to try to knock this Wobbuffet out and give my opponent more chances to win. And I also have to put my Guzma back in the deck. So that's... I am PO'd right now. I am very PO'd. Like, if you're pulling that Bush League crap, get out of here. Like, don't exploit a glitch like that. Like, that's I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm as angry as I am right now, but that's inexcusable to me. Like, that's not okay to exploit a glitch just so you don't lose the game. Because I mean, you guys saw it. I had the Guzma in my hand. All I had to do is Psychic Recharge twice onto my Ultra Necrozma, and I won the game. And now I can't even use my Float Stones out because of his startling Megaphone, and he is going to be able to Chorus. So yeah, this game should be over. This should be over, like 100%. And if he starts hitting these Crushing Hammers as well, I am going to be exponentially more PO'd. Like, that's not okay. This is some BS right now, in all honesty. Just the fact that he's able to stay in the game because of exploiting that glitch. And I mean, honestly, I'd say he's knowingly exploiting that glitch too. So what I'm going to do right here, get rid of the Sycamore as... Actually, do I want to just get rid of all 3 so that I guarantee draw into the Guzma next turn? Yeah, I think that might be what I want to do, unless I don't want to get rid of the Shaymin. But I mean, my opponent has to end me to win the game, and all I need is that Guzma. So yeah, I mean, if he wants to end, puts himself lower, I'm just going to go ahead and Psychic Recharge onto my Ultra Necrozma, so that way, once I can finally get that Guzma and be able to bring up the Gengar like I should have been able to do a turn ago, that I'll be able to do that. Yes, I do want to end my turn. It's not going to do anything to the Hoopa. But yeah, I mean, that's bad. That's not okay. That's some BS. That's some hardcore BS that my opponent exploited that glitch in order to not lose the game. And luckily, I will be able to win this game unless he ends me. But I mean, I think I should be able to. My opponent hasn't played an N yet. And if he's able to play an N, then I'll be really mad. But yeah, I mean, this game should have been over. Yeah, he will just Dark Corridor, so he will be able to win the game finally, because my opponent, yeah. So I know I keep coming back to that, but yeah, as you can see, Bide Barricade does not affect Psychic Pokemon. That is a glitch. My opponent exploited that glitch, and yeah, I'm not okay with that. That's bull. That is severe bull. And now I'm going to bring up the Gengar, knock that thing out, attach another energy for overkill. Slightly BM, but he deserves it at this point. And yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that you're seeing, that you guys are having to see this side of me. It's just like, okay, if I lose and my opponent straight up beats me, I'm good with that. Like, my opponent beat me, they outplayed me, I am good with that. I can accept that loss, and I will tip my hat to my opponent in that instance. But if I lose because my opponent exploited a glitch and I should have won and I guaranteed had the win had the glitch not existed, like in this case, I mean, it's one thing if it's like clipping through walls or something in an FPS, which shouldn't happen, but I don't know, like just that's not okay with me. If you are somebody that knowingly exploits the WOB effect glitch and have won games because of it, I've got issue with that. But anyway, sorry for my little rant there at the end. Sorry for getting a little bit PO'd. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching nonetheless. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.